Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be tracking the possibility for severe weather setup that be going on across portions of the Midwest, maybe that back down into the several portions of the several plains, really in the middle of next week here. This is what we're going to be watching closely here, and there could be more systems after that that may bring maybe another chance of severe weather for some more areas. So let's go to get started with the Storm Prediction Center. So this is for tonight. We got a marginal risk for severe weather for southwestern Kansas into western Oklahoma, and this is not a big deal. Wind and hail's your primary threats, and you can see what's going on right now out there. We do have some pretty decent thunderstorm well, not quite thunderstorms, but you do have some showers and there may be thunderstorms out there actually. And some of these do have a chance to produce some hail. We got a pretty cold air aloft in some of these areas, so it's not going to take a whole lot of well, not really a whole lot of, but big thunderstorms to produce some hail. Even some showers may have a chance to produce maybe a little bit hail. There's going to be a cold air aloft going on across some of those areas. Other than that, not too big of a deal. But let's kind of pay attention to what's going to be happening down the road. So we're going to see a pretty nice climate pattern for pretty much all the weekend for pretty much everybody, probably except for the Northwest and Florida, which is indication by the European model. But as soon as we get into hold on a minute. Here, I probably cannot use that right now. I'm going to show you guys what that's all about in a moment. But as we kind of get into Tuesday of next week, we got a pretty decently strong low coming out of Wyoming and Montana. Got some mountain snow going on out there. And then it starts to strengthen a little bit. Gets up to the upper Midwest. You got strong southerly winds here. You can see here with your isobars being pretty close together. Here, let me do it this way. You see your isobars are pretty close together, and that indicates some strong winds going on, at least close to the surface there. So you're at some strong southwesterly winds going on across those regions there. And then maybe later down the road, and this is getting into early Thursday morning, so next Thursday, another low may develop here, and that could bring us some more thunderstorm action across some of those areas as well. And so we got to pay attention to. And I hate to say this, but we may have to watch next weekend here. You can see here, there's another system here, brings in snow across ports of the Midwest Ohio Valley. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But what I do see here is there could be another flash flood threat across some of the same areas that got hit hard by the last system. Kentucky got hit pretty hard on the last system. Some places received at least 5 to even over 8 inches of rain, which led to some records across portions of Kentucky. Not only Kentucky, but even back across portions of Tennessee also had some major flooding problems as well. So, and that was 2 months worth of rain. So we do not need any rain for a while. So, but let's hope we don't see another flash flood threat because this is a similar setup to what we had before. So this is going to be something to watch here in the incoming days. And this is the GFS model here. You can see if your first system here, and I almost forgot to mention here from the European model, we have to watch this zone here. This zone right in here, we may have to watch for the potential for some severe weather. Uh, Pretty much both afternoon there's not going to be a whole lot of instability to work with. You have to get along the front to see some thunderstorm action here, at least start to develop in the evening. And this is going to move to the southeast here. Now, I do have some limiting factors. And one of those factors is going to be dew points. Dew points will be under 60. You also have Cape numbers that's going to be a little bit low as well. So we do have some limiting factors. However, we do have quite a bit of wind shear across some of these regions here. So it's another one of those type of setups where you have a high wind shear and low cape environment, which those things are pretty hard to predict. We had something like that with the last system across the Tennessee Valley back down to the Several Plains. It was a high wind shear, low cape environment, and we only had a couple tornadoes on a day, including one in several Kentucky, and I believe there was one in Tennessee. There was one in Georgia, and I think there was one in Southern Arkansas. Actually, there was not one in Tennessee. There was only 3 tornadoes that happened. So, and there's other days where you have many tornadoes out there. So, with that type of environment, it's pretty hard to predict. So, that's stuff we're gonna watch for as well. And you can see here as we kind of get into Wednesday night, there you go. You got a line of thunderstorms moving into northern Illinois, even back down into across southeastern Kansas. That'll be another area to watch too. And even up into maybe into central Michigan. That'd be another area to watch as well. Maybe the chance for severe weather. I think it's pretty limited over there. And then another system develops along that front that actually may bring a flash flood threat across portions of the Ohio Valley. Hopefully this is going to be right because these areas down here do not need any rain. They had a lot of rain from the last event, so hopefully this stays a little bit further to the north. And you can see here that system goes by, and yet the pattern's a little bit active from there. So let's talk about the severe weather side of things. So this may look kind of crazy, but this is the map here that I've made that shows pretty much most of the ingredients you need for severe weather. If you're more inside some of these circles here, the better environment you're in for some severe weather. So, areas that's in this black circle right in here, the European model indicates that's going to be an area that has the better chance to see some severe weather, which is quite widespread. This includes most of Oklahoma, the eastern half of Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, the eastern half of Iowa, far southeastern Minnesota, several Wisconsin, western Illinois, most of Missouri, and northwestern Arkansas will be an area to watch here. And I want you guys to pay attention to this gray line here, and that's where you have some of the better photographs. In the areas in these green lines here, is where you have 55 plus dew points. Let me actually make that a little bigger. So areas in the green here, that's where you have dew points pretty much over 55. And some of these places could be getting up to 60. And this will be the region to watch here in the incoming days here, where you have some of the better dew points plus some of the better instability. You're also adding on top of that pretty good photographs, which is areas here in the gray there as well. And that'll be something we're going to watch for closely as well. And let me show you guys the legend here real quick to kind of give you guys to show you guys what this is all about. So I did green, like I said again, dew points over 55. Now, technically, for severe weather, if you want some good severe weather, it has to be over 60. But since we're seeing some low numbers, I brought it down to just over 55 with the dew points. So, yeah. In the blue, 500 millibar high winds. It has to be over 55 knots. So, if I go back here to the graphic, it's this blue right here. Basically, dark blue, really. And it's this blue right in here. And you can see it includes pretty much for everybody in that zone. Then you got the original blue, 500 millibar high wind with divergence. That's in within the black circle. So you got divergence there, so that'd be able for thunderstorms to build. The cyan, 850 millibar high winds, over 50 knots. And what that will do, that bring in some wind energy. And as we look out here, there's not a whole lot out there. So the damage to wind threat may be a little bit limited with this setup. And then this is hard to see, but in yellow, that's where we have vorticity, which right here, that's pretty much for everybody. In the pink, that's where we have bulk shear, and this is going to be a high wind shear environment, over 45 knots. That's also for everybody. In the gray, that's where we have decent photographs. And like I said before, in the gray, which is about right here, that's where we have decent photographs, and that can indicate your tornado threat. When you have decent photographs, you have a marginal tornado threat. And that can likely change. All of this can likely change. Just to let you guys know, this is still far out. Then areas in the orange, that's 700 to 500 millibar lap rates, and this will help thunderstorms build. That will help bring up the updrafts with some of these thunderstorms. So that'll help the thunderstorms build. And then this is mid-level Cape, over 250 joules per kilogram. And we're so let me say this first. I do not have all the products for the European model. Just to let you guys know. So for some of these other ones here, it's not showing up on the Euro. At least I don't have it on here because I do not have access to that stuff. So just to let you guys know about that. And if we go to the GFS model, this is where it has everything, and you can see here. Not, not gonna lie, it's a mess. But this is a pretty good tactic to use to indicate where some of these areas can have the better potential for some severe weather. So let's take a look into this. So in the green, so this is where you have 55 plus with dew points. So, which I should have been doing this in the Euro, but which I do apologize for. Uh, you can see right here, that's where we have 55 plus with dew points. And this is also makes things a little bit faster that makes the video shorter, so and which I'm sure so you guys will probably like shorter videos. So in the blue, that's where we have 500 millbar high winds over 55 knots. That's for everybody. Uh, well, I'm at dark blue. In the original blue, that's where we have some divergence. Looks like, yeah, here it is right here, which is pretty much nearly for everybody with divergence, which that's going to help thunderstorms build. Go back, cyan. And this is kind of one of the limiting factors, possibly for the damage wind event, or potential, I should say, is your 850 millbar winds. And this is for at least 55 knots, if I'm correct. Actually, at least 50 knots. And at miles an hour, that'd be like 55-mile-an-hour winds, which is close to severe thunderstorm territory. You can see here, it's actually a little bit misplaced from where a lot of your ingredients are, which is back here. But some of your damage winds may be able to be coming from the cold front. So we're going to see about this damage wind threat. It looks like it could be a little bit limited for this event. So this is something we'll got to watch for. And also forgot to mention here, this is for only in one time frame. So this is 21Z. And the European model, the difference here, that's 0Z. So that's the evening. 21Z is basically the late afternoon, early evening. So this is all for one time. Even though if you're not in the black circle here, there could be more areas included for the severe weather threat. So even a little bit outside the black circle, you still have the chance for some severe weather. And this is only the reason why I'm doing this time frame is because that's the peak time heating. So that's where you have some of the better dynamics and all that jazz for some severe weather. And that's why I'm doing it in just one time frame. And if we go back here, yellow vorticities, everybody. Pink bulk shear, that's everybody. So for gray, decent photographs. This is going to be an important one for tornadoes. And where you have your decent photographs, right in here. So that includes the eastern half of Iowa, northeastern Kansas, northern Missouri, far northwestern Illinois, and into far southeastern Minnesota into central Wisconsin. That's where we had decent photographs, and that will indicate your tornado threat, which is marginal. And these are just decent. These are not like really good photographs. If I'm talking about really good, that means some bad things could happen. But since they are decent, this is probably supportive for mainly for marginal tornadoes. So we're talking about EF0, EF1, and there are also probably not going to be many out there. So next one up, and that's the mid-level lap rates, or 700 to 500 millibar lap rates in the orange. And this has to be over 7. And you can see here, it's scattered. You got some here, some in here, here, and a little bit here. And in the main zone here, the only area that's favorable from lap rates is east central Kansas and far western, northwest central Missouri. And that's going to help with some of those updrafts within some of those storms. So, yeah, we don't have a whole lot out there. Mid-level Cape, over 250 joules per kilogram, and that's in the red. And you can see here, this even expands all the way back down into western Oklahoma here as well. And that's where some of the areas may need to watch for some severe weather. Now, I've looked into soundings back down into western Oklahoma, which I know some storm chasers probably will rather chase down there. And the photographs are not good for tornadoes, but even without good photographs, you may have a marginal severe weather threat, but it's going to stay pretty low. But what these forecast soundings do show is a cap, which what a cap is here with a forecast sounding. So you got like your dew points, maybe something like this, with your green line and your red line, which is your temperatures, maybe they usually don't cross. Something like that. Then your yellow line here. So this is kind of like your dry line, at least if I'm correct. And if it goes, let me see here. So if it goes like this, if it crosses over the temperature in the temperature line, that's a cap. Thunderstorms can't develop. Now, if they were like a little farther apart, that's where you get your instability from. So that's basically what that is there, which I know that's a bad example or look at a forecast sounding, but that's just a general idea, general look of what that will look like. So in the brown, storm wave to Felicity over 150. And if we kind of take a look out of there, so in the brown, which is going to be hard to see, so yeah, it looks like I have it in here, which will help with the damage to wind threat. Sorry guys, I'm messing up a little bit. It's a little hard to see, which I know it's a little hard to see for everybody, but this makes the map a little bit better. If I make the lines bigger, it will not look great. Trust me on that. And with the sword weight of Felicity, that can increase your tornado threat and also your wind damage to wind threat as well, and that's gonna be something we're gonna watch as well. In the last, oh wait, that was the last thing. In the black, that's where we have the best environment for severe weather, just from a weather model standpoint. If we compare to the two, looks like northeastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri, southeastern Nebraska, central and eastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, northwestern Illinois, and into southern and central Wisconsin has the better environment for severe weather at this time. This will likely change. Just a warning, guys, that. But at least we have a decent agreement with the placement, but we still have uncertainties with the dew points of the Cape because those numbers are a little bit low for severe weather potential. But that is something we're going to watch pretty closely here. And here's a little better map here. And this is just a broad area here. In areas in red here, that's where we got to watch for the potential force of severe weather. And if you guys looked at back at some of my maps, the better opportunity for at least for a decent amount of severe weather will be areas I've just highlighted, circling in yellow. And even outside that circle, these areas may have the chance for severe weather. It's mostly going to be an overnight threat to maybe early morning for some people. So that's something we're going to have to watch pretty closely here. Let's take a look into the CFS weekly here, and this is kind of looking to the 7-day average here. We're basically done with that system, by the way, with the severe weather setup. And moving on here, so this is, we're kind of looking a little bit further down the road. So this is an average for 8 to 14 days, which I've noticed here, it's been kind of eroding with the ridge up here. We used to have a very strong ridge way up here, but now it's definitely eroded away quite a bit. You also got some troughing out across the west here as well. So this is somewhat of severe weather setup. Maybe the better chance for severe weather with something like this, maybe somewhere in the zone right in here. Maybe include some of these other areas as well. And if we put on with the precipitation, you can see it does fit pretty decently well with those two circles there. So that'll be the areas to watch for severe weather. So for some of these areas here, that's just only for round number one, which can obviously could change. But there could be some more severe weather on the way, and that's something we got to watch for. Not only that, but there could be some flooding potential as well. This is similar to what we had last week with some of that historic flooding across some of these areas here. Actually, it was not last week. It was actually earlier this week, Sunday into Monday, pretty much. It was on Sunday. That way we had some of the historic flooding across Kentucky. Fortunately, this is a similar setup, and hopefully we don't get a whole lot of rain with this setup here, or even severe weathers. But this is something to watch pretty closely here, and if we look into the GFS ensembles, areas in the yellow here, that's where we have to watch for the potential, not only for severe weather, but maybe the chance for some flooding here. And this indicates that an active pattern could be coming into mid-March. That's basically what all this means here. And let's take a look into those temperatures here at the surface here. And this is temperature anomalies. You can see here, central, western, eastern United States, central and eastern United States, we're likely to be staying above normal. And even across the north and northeast here, we're going to see some well above average temperatures. And you're going to talk about temperatures in the 50s, 40s, and 50s pretty much. And in the western United States, they're kind of in a little bit of a winter pattern out across the west there. And they haven't really seen a good winter this winter, so this is probably pretty nice for them as well. And yeah, that's the temperatures. And you know what? Spring fever for the central and eastern United States, it's coming for sure. And here's the lower dynamics. This is MSLP. This is where you have an average for your lows and your high pressure systems. And you can see here we do have some lows could be a little bit more common up across the Great Lakes, the northeast there. There could be some snow on the backside. We're gonna have to watch that. And you can see here some ridging may be going on across the west there. And that'll be a cold ridge, a little bit more of a cold ridge out there as well. So, but this is something to watch here. Basically, this is an indication that an active pattern could be coming across portions of the central and eastern United States. But anyways, guys, that's all for guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Guys, like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.